Welcome back to KTN Prime. The exit of David Maraga as Chief Justice officially starts a huge debate over who will succeed him as next CJ. Deputy Chief Justice Philomena Mwilu, a possible contender in the succession, will now act as the country's CJ. Mwilu, however, faces hurdles likely to block her from ascending to the office. Will she maneuver these roadblocks in a high-stakes process to become the next Chief Justice of the Republic of Kenya? Akisa Wandera interrogates that for us tonight.
Lady Justice Philomena Mwilu, the acting Chief Justice, is a woman to watch in the next few months as the race to replace Maraga begins. A tumultuous tenure she has had as a Deputy Chief Justice, both in and out of the courts, and now the kitchen just got hotter. Tuesday, she faces her first hurdle as the High Court is set to rule on activist Okiya Omtata's application for conservatory order seeking to stop her from acting as Chief Justice until when the case filed is heard and determined. Omtata has an array of arguments against the acting CJ. Among them, the legality of Justice Mwilu acting as Chief Justice, where the Constitution does not provide for. He argues that she can only step in the case of death, resignation, or the CJ's removal from office.
Upon the retirement of the Chief Justice, effective midnight today, we will not have a Chief Justice. The Deputy Chief Justice will therefore perform all the functions that are otherwise performed by the Chief Justice on the strength of the power given to her by the Constitution, but more importantly, as elaborated under the Judicial Service Act.
One thing is for sure is that the Constitution does not envisage a position of an acting Chief Justice. The Constitution is silent on that, to an extent that you want to believe that the framers may have assumed that the Judicial Service Act will actually have created a mechanism in which Chief Justice is replaced.
Omtata also wants Justice Mwilu to stop acting as Chief Justice until when 4 pending petitions before the Commission touching on her conduct are dispensed with. Among the cases he has cited is one filed by the Director of Public Prosecutions, Nordin Haji, and the Director of Criminal Investigations, George Kinoti, where they claim Justice Mwilu is unfit to hold public office as she was involved in the irregular sale and acquisition of property, including obtaining the execution of a security by false pretense. The High Court, however, declared the criminal case illegal, ruling that any complaint against the judge should be filed before the Judicial Service Commission.
Whichever way, it still means that there are challenges in terms of her credibility, her character, which until the JSC renders itself on those particular petitions or challenges, then it will not be proper to say that just because there is an allegation which has not yet to be proved, or the JSC is yet to make a decision, that alone should stand on the way of a Deputy Chief Justice ascending into the seat of a Chief Justice, or even currently acting as a Chief Justice.
With Justice Mwilu also currently acting as the chairperson of the JSC, it's likely to be a very delicate balancing act, as all eyes will be on her and how she will handle herself and the Commission as they hear cases filed against her. The legal hurdles are not the only ones Justice Mwilu should be worried about. The process of picking the next CJ is heavily characterized with a lot of political underhandedness, with interests on the 2022 general election expected to influence the process. For their second term, both Justices Maraga and Mwilu were perceived to be on the receiving end as a result of frosty relations between the executive and the judiciary. And this is likely to work against her.
The fact that ceremoniously she's still the head, someone will not have confidence in that particular court listening to a matter where one of them is actually the central focus. Someone again will also say the JSC, her being the de facto president by virtue of taking over in an acting capacity from the CJ. She is actually the chair of that particular commission. This is a very important commission, but more importantly, her matters are there. I think 3-4 petitions are there, currently being handled and very active. So it will also send a signal or a message or an indication that it may not be the proper forum to handle that matter at this particular instance.
The Judicial Service Commission is expected to advertise for the position of the Chief Justice as early as tomorrow, which will in turn open up the space for the battle for the position, both behind closed doors and in the public eye. According to the Constitution, the position should be filled within the next 6 months. But with the current political environment, analysts intimate that perhaps this will be a hastened process. Will Lady Justice Philomena Mwilu be the pick at the end of the day? It remains a matter of wait and see. Akisa Wandera, KTN News.
And we'll be delving into not only the succession politics and that path to